my name is Julie Lopez, and like I stated before, I will be doing a presentation on the reflexes of a newborn. The Babinski reflex is one of the reflexes that newborns have. A baby's toes fan out when the sole of the foot is stroked from heel to toe. The significance of the Babinski reflex is yet unknown. However, the reflex is used to check the nervous system. Due to the stimulation of the stroke on the sole of the baby's feet, there are many nerve endings that cause the toes to fan out. When a baby is trying to respond to bright light or loud noises, they blink to protect their eyes. The blink reflex doesn't only determine whether the baby's vision is okay, but also the baby's hearing. A baby's eyes close in response to bright light or loud noise. And this is important because we don't know whether a baby's sight is okay or hearing because they're not able to communicate with us. And this is important, the blink reflex, because it's kind of their way of communicating with us, saying, due to my blinking, I could hear or I could see that bright light. So that's very interesting. The Moro reflex is a reflex that usually goes away after a baby is 3 to 4 months old. A baby throws its arms out and then inward, as if embracing, in response to loud noise or when its head falls. Have you ever placed your finger on the palm of an infant's hand and noticed that the baby grasps your finger? This is the Palmar reflex. It's significant because it shows that the baby feels stimulation. A baby grasps on an object on the palm of its hand. And this is important because the baby actually feels that something is touching them, the stimulation, and they grab, and they actually really grab hard for a while. And it's really hard to actually remove your finger, for example, from the baby's palm. When an infant grasps on an object, it is very hard to remove the object from the infant's hand because the Palmar reflex is involuntary. But after the infant is older, they make the decision on whether to grasp or not. Some studies show that when an infant has grasped on an object, simply stroke the back of the infant's hand and the infant will open their hand. This is related to the Babinski reflex. Rooting. The rooting reflex is significant because it helps make certain that breastfeeding is successful, as well as pleasure of sucking on their thumb. When a baby's cheeks is stroked, it turns its head towards the stroking and opens its mouth. When you hold a baby upright, the baby tends to move one foot in front of the other. This is the stepping reflex. A baby who is held upright by an adult and is then moved forward begins to step rhythmically, precursor to voluntary walking. Although the baby's legs are too weak as an infant to walk, the stepping reflex is what allows the baby to begin walking from around 9 to 12 months, when they are able to up and take one step at a time. After a baby is born, a bottle of milk is placed on the baby's mouth. The baby begins to suck on the nipple and is fed. The baby isn't taught how to suck. It is an instinct that the baby learns at birth for survival. Babies also have a hand-to-mouth reflex that goes with rooting and sucking and may suck on fingers or hands. The rooting reflex complements the sucking reflex and allows the baby to drink their milk or suck on their thumb or pacifier. The withdrawal reflex is a reflex that is provided by the spine. Its job is to protect the body from a damaging or hurtful stimulant. If a baby accidentally touches something that is hot, they will quickly remove their hands from the object that is too hot. This is an example of what the withdrawal reflex provides. This is important because I've learned before that mothers that drink alcohol during pregnancy, most of the times their child comes out with the withdrawal reflex that is not present, and that means that the child, they could put their hand on something that's very hot and they don't feel the sensation of burning. And it is very important for a child to have the withdrawal reflex so that they don't get hurt. Why are the reflexes so important? The reflexes are so important because it is an unlearned process that children have, and it is important for the survival and for the development of new and more complex tasks. Each reflex is triggered by a specific stimulation. If by any chance a child lacks in one reflex, it can be a problem for the child's development. For example, if a child has a weak grasping or palmar reflex, then maybe this child could have a problem with their motor skills in school, maybe bad handwriting, etc. As stated earlier, the reflexes go hand in hand. Rooting and sucking are essential for a baby's diet and well-being. The blink and withdrawal reflexes help protect the newborn from any stimuli that may be dangerous for the baby. For example, the blink, like I said before, if the light is too bright or if they hear a loud noise, then they close their eye because they don't like it. That's their way of communicating, like I said. And the withdrawal is pretty much the same thing. It's something they don't like. They don't like it to touch something that's maybe too hot or something that maybe is pointing. So that's pretty much protecting them, that reflex. Well-working reflexes are important for a newborn. If a reflex isn't working properly, then this could be that the baby's spinal cord may be damaged, therefore causing a damaged nervous system. A baby with healthy reflexes will have healthy motor skills when they get older. The reflexes ensure that the baby's senses are working properly. Sight, touch, hearing, and taste depend on the reflexes to work properly. The technique of applying pressure to the hands of a newborn and infant has long been used for elect reflex responses such as opening of the mouth, the Babkin reflex, closing of the eye, limb flexion, neck rotation, and tongue pretension. These responses, which are considered primitive reflexes and are found in primitive newborns up to 20 weeks of gestation, indicate incomplete maturation of the inhibitory activity of the central nervous system. Thank you so much for your time.